Hello, traders. It's Friday, the 26th of June, 2020. Let me make sure I have the right mic connected here. No, I don't. Hang on one second. Bada bing. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. We're back in business. Anyway, happy Friday, everyone. It is June 26th. It's 8:01 a.m. Chicago time. Hopefully, you're having a good morning. This is episode number 1785. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This morning, overall, we're looking at a market that is kind of mixed. We have the Euro stocks pushing higher, leading the pack today. Euro stocks up 0.47%. But also the bonds are up 10 ticks and the 10 years are up 4.5 ticks, with the DAX also up. But then when we look at the US indices, we see that the Russell is a laggard, down 12 points, almost 11.9 points, or 0.84%. I want to remind you also that the Russell is rebalancing today, and that usually generates a ton of volatility. Please be careful trading the Russell into the close today. Gold is almost unchanged, down $1.40 or 0.08%. So what we have is a mixed bag today. Crude is off. It's the weakest by percent change from settlement. Crude is down 1.03 or 40 cents, trading at 38.32. So that's where we stand this morning. In terms of what's in play for today, we did get personal income. U.S. personal income was expected at negative 5.6, came in at negative 4.2 percent, and personal spending month on month for May was expected at 9.5, came in weaker at 8.2. We're expecting Michigan sentiment final. The final number is not like the prelim. It does not move the market as much in my experience. That comes out at 10 Eastern, a half hour after the open. And that wraps up the day, really. Not much else. And of course, we're going into the weekend. Now, don't forget that next Friday is July 3rd, and it's a holiday for the 4th of July, Independence Day here in the U.S. So next Friday is expected to be a short day. It's so, plan the week accordingly as we push into that. We're likely to see less and less volatility and volume coming into the session. So that's where we stand as of right now. Now, one thing I like to do, the basically the Friday after the expiration, the last Friday of the month generally, is ask everybody in attendance to just go to either my Twitter, twitter.com/futurestrader71, or in the YouTube chat in front of you, or on Periscope chat, to type in where you're listening from. Just type in the city, if appropriate, the state, and the country. Definitely the country. Let us know where you're from, just to see who's in the community. These videos are viewed by about 2,000 unique views every day between YouTube and Periscope. And I just want to see that folks can look around and get familiar with who's around them. Of course, I can't connect you at the moment. I will at some point, but for now, let's just see the variety from which people are hailing. Berlin, Germany, Hawaii, that's awesome. Wish I were there. Vancouver, a few Canadians, Australians, Texans, Virgin Islands, nice. Very cool. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate it. Here's what's being put forth. There it is on the side. Thank you guys for punching that in. Germany, Mexico City, welcome. Singapore, welcome. So I'll leave that. It's a bit of a distraction, I know, but it's really nice to see just the network of traders around us while we're here. Here's what was expected yesterday. Yesterday, the primary scenario, the primary expectation is that the you know, yesterday went long, and I wanted to explain how the auction is likely to unfold, or we would expect it to unfold. And the biggest thing I mentioned was that this low after the impulse is likely to be taken out. And how it's taken out is the subject of the scenarios. The expectation is we are like, because of the way the overnight session was stanced, expected a test of 3060, expected a test of 3060 to fail and then push lower and potentially into 3000 and even 2980. The second scenario was really on the nose. The expectation on the second scenario is a push to 3010, 3011, the composite low volume node as outlined here, a return to the high volume node at the 3020 area, and then a continuation to 3080. So yesterday open, test 3010, 3011, push through the high volume node and aim for that 3080, 3077, 3080 low volume node. Okay, so you got that picture. Here's what actually happened. Here's what actually happened. I'm showing you this on a 2-tick Renko so you can see short term what it looked like. An open auction that fails, we have a very clean and clear impulse down, very strong impulse down, and then we have a continuation right into that stock zone, 3011.75, which puts us in that 3010 to 3011 low volume node, composite low volume node. Do you remember this? I just went over it. And then we turned back up. We couldn't quite get to 60. We built our at this point we've built our IB, and then we're picking up fuel here in the middle, and then we finally poke through to 3050, and then we finally push to 3060 with a small pullback, and then ultimately we get to 3080 with a high of 3079.50. Worked out beautifully. Again, it's one thing to see it work out, it's another thing to trade it. I fully recognize that. Um, I fully recognize that, but the goal here is for you to understand how that probability exists and how the auction worked, and the fact that we pushed. Remember, the green line right here is yesterday's low, prior low. And it's important to recognize that it completed that impulse from the prior day and is now corrective, and the corrective target is 3080, and it hit it on the dot. It's nice to see that, but that's not how trading always works. As you all know, we can only aim for targets and manage our risk while we manage the trade. That's all we can do. But having a plan and watching the market turn at that point and then create. Remember, I said if it turns at 3011, I'm looking for a push pull to continue forward, and that pull really didn't come to this point, and it looked awful. And then it finally kind of broke through. So it's, I want to see it turn, and then I want to find a pullback to get long, leaning against some size, leaning against the zipper for continuation. Okay, but I would invite you to watch yesterday's webinar. Trader Byte, because it really explains how that auction process works, and all that. Okay, so that's yesterday's play, and then this morning, the overnight session. Let me pull that up. That carries us into the overnight session. This is a 15-minute chart. So what we're seeing here, in case you're lost, is we're seeing the day session right here. This is the day session. Okay, so this is RTH. Trying to draw with a mouse. And then this is the extended trading hours. And you can see the extended trading hours opened right back up, completely sideways. with almost like a an overnight IB of 30.80 and 30.63.50. And then what it did is it turned down, it pushed down to the prior day's IB right here, 48.75 on the dot right there. So now we have a clue that even in the overnight session, it looked like short time frame traders were in control, or likely to be in control. And then it has a V bottom bounce and it pushes through to the other side, puts in a lower high. Now we're in the middle. So what we're seeing in the overnight session is balanced, but it had a pretty good exploration. Um, it's pretty good exploration up and down, and is balanced. The overnight volume is quite low relative to prior sessions. You can see that the prior day 485,000 right there, and then last night 297,000. Um, although the that being at 297,000, that's still higher than the historical overnight volume at this point of about 120 to 130,000 contracts currently. And so this is relatively active price discovery, but what's important is it held the low volume node from the prior day, very important. It held the 3050, and as it walks back down, remember the 3060 from yesterday? We're right there. We happen to be opening right there. Do you see how convenient these prices can be sometimes? We're happening to open right against that 3060 mentioned here. See that 3060 from yesterday's trader bite? So we are, right at it, and depending on how it behaves and how it holds 3050, I'm looking to the long side more heavy, and there's, we're likely to get tangled up somewhere between the 65 and 71 area. There's a lot of clutter up there, so it may have a hard time kind of pushing up right away, and we'll see how we'll see how that plays. I'm not sure what you're talking about in terms of large account sizes. It doesn't matter. What does it matter if it's large or small? This is trading. As long as liquidity is there, you can lift up to, probably not right now, but during the after the open, you can lift up to maybe an 80 lot without the market even giving you slippage. So it doesn't really matter. Account size doesn't matter. Margins don't matter. We're talking about trading in general, and how to trade, how to look at the market. Then you establish your plan around it. So it doesn't. It's like saying, is trading stocks for small sizes or large sizes? It could be for your retirement portfolio. You could own $1 billion worth of stock. It doesn't matter as long as you can spread it. So so let's move on to the Bookmap. I want to show you how things are kind of shaping up here. This move down, is fairly is relatively busy. Is relatively busy. So you can see the price discovery overnight. Let me turn these dots. I was looking at a new feature yesterday. You can see that there's just a lot of activity overnight. There are several liquidity areas. 3060 right here. You can see the line all the way through. 3060, it kind of pushed through. The other area is 3080 right here, where the high was held overnight. It's fairly active overnight in terms of what it's discovering. So it's just it's in the sense that that the market's being active, it is. But I've got to tell you, when I look at this order flow here, it's just a ton of noise, in my opinion. There's just um, it looks almost like a rollover. And when we move out a little bit, we see that 3040 and 3100 with 3096 are bracketing the current range in terms of liquidity. Okay, so 3050 as well. 3050 is coming in a little bit. So just keep an eye. Just keep an eye as you're trading. Keep an eye on the 3050, 3060. This is important. 3080, and then from there it's 3100, 3095 to 3100. 3100, and then below there 3040. Those are key areas. And if I match those up with my stock zones, we see that 3100, of course, is the MC point of control, MCHVN century figure. We have 3080 as a stock zone, not because of the liquidity. The liquidity happens to fall into line with the predetermined area. 3060 as well, and then 3050 and 3040. These are not, these happen to coincide. And of course, when we have liquidity in an area of a stock zone, that gets my attention. That is an opportunity for a scalp or for a structured trade. And that's how I use the software. Okay, so that's where that stands. Let me turn this back on. That's where that stands. So let's move on to what's expected for today. All right, so what are we expecting for today here? First of all, don't forget to hit the like button. It is Like Friday. This morning, I'm looking for an open auction because it's in range to move down into that 3050 area. I'm expecting a fight here at the 3050, the low volume node, and the value high. Looking for an impulse higher back to the overnight point of control, and then a push through 80 for a consolidation above yesterday's range as we resume our trip back towards the 3100 balance. Okay, that's the primary scenario. Secondary scenario is an open that attempts higher moves to 30, 70, 72, 73 or so, gets an impulse, falls, consolidates, holds here steady, and then pokes through and comes back into the most recent balance at 30, 38, 37, and then holds steady here for a bounce back up and basically an inside day. So I'm expecting the one-time framing to reverse today, to begin to reverse today. I'm expecting a higher low, potentially a higher high. We'll see how that plays. We'll see how that plays. I'm really expecting a boring day, to be honest with you, except for those who are trading the Russell and are going to be subject to that rebalance. I'm actually taking the day off today. So convergent members, I will not be there. I just need a break, and I've decided to not be around today. I got up to do this trader bite for the community. But I'm basically going to rest up today and go do something fun for a change. I've been working, around the clock, week in, well, month in, month out, and I'm just going to take a break. I'm not expecting too much today, but I'll keep an eye on the market. I'll leave you with those thoughts. And again, if you have not checked out EdgeClear, please support this brokerage. I opened a futures brokerage a couple months ago called edgeclear.com, and I welcome you to check us out. We have it all. We have all platform solutions, a huge variety of platform solutions. We're very, very competitive on pricing. You will get assigned your own personal broker, human being that you'll talk to. And I would appreciate your support. You need to clear somewhere. Do it through us. We're building technology, and our focus is to support traders with prop-like solutions. So please join us. Edgeclear.com. The brokers are happy to answer your questions, and if you need anything, you can always reach out to me directly, of course. Good luck, and I'll catch you on Monday morning. Take care.